Thank you for coming for our press conference today. We want to start. Let me invite our comrade Museveni David to come and lead us in the anthem. The national anthem, the people power anthem, and then let's just actually start with the prayer. And those who very prayerful now, let's do the prayer, then we'll lead us in the anthem.
Good morning, our friend Uganda. Kabazanyo mukama olunaku luno. Kabazanyo mukama olw'okutukuŋŋaanya wamu. Tukusaba byonna bye tugenda okwogerako tusobole okuteekebwa mu nkola tuwaayo eggwanga lyaffe mu maaso go. Osobole okutukulembera okututuusa ku ekyo kye twagala.
Yes, colleagues, let's prepare for the anthems, and we are starting with the national anthem. Holy God, may God upon thee, we lay our future in thy hands. United, free, for liberty, together we always stand. Yeah, then for I think we can call it revolutionary, the people power and national unity platform. NUP first. NUP? Everywhere. Everywhere? NUP. Sing. Sing. When the struggle is over, we shall wear the victor's crown. We shall wear the victor's crown. We shall wear the victor's crown. When the struggle is over, we shall wear the victor's crown. In the new land. When the struggle is over, we shall wear the victor's crown. We shall wear the victor's crown. We shall wear the victor's crown. When the struggle is over, shall wear the victor's crown in the new. Olutalu galuwedde tuliyambale ngule, tuliyambale ngule, tuliyambale ngule. Olutalu galuwedde tuliyambale ngule, tuliyambale mpya. NUP. Everywhere. NUP. People power. Our power. Our power. People power. God bless. Can you please be seated?
Now here the Musavi, the prayer. Musavi, the prayer. The person who prayed, prayer. And the singer. See what they did there, but it is well. Is this, could you make adjustments a little? Okay. I know the prayer was precise to the point. It was a wonderful prayer, yeah. All right, thank you for coming today. I don't know if the sound is good. Is it good? Is it good? You know, for us, the sign meaning good is this one, not the other one. Okay, we'll proceed and see how things go. I want to welcome all of you. It's good to see the leadership of Makerere University. Please stand. The leaders of Makerere University, led by the Guild President. Your Excellency, Shamim Nambasa, it's good to see you here. Congratulations. And even before I start, please come and say hello to us, since you are a Mugole in that regard.
People power.
Our power.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to be in your midst, and today, as I stand here, I do not only stand as Shamim Nambasa, but I stand before you as the Guild President of the mighty Makerere University. But not only that, that is not what is most important. I am the Guild President who won with the NUP flag. So NUP is leading in Makerere. It's not Shamim Nambasa, but it's NUP, just that Shamim is holding the flag. So as I stand before you, we do converge here day and night, every day, because we are not happy with what is happening. Because we believe as the young generation, we do stand a chance. We must have a say, we must be heard. And as I stand here as Shamim Nambasa, the 5th female Guild President of Makerere University. Makerere University makes 100 years next year. But it is absurd that when they get a female president, it is something very new. It is something that is so exciting, yet we believe it should be normal. So as I stand here, I tell the young generation, the young females, the young girls out there, the young women, that we are taking lead. It is our time. It is the time that we come out as the young women, the young men, and say that no, we deserve better. We need better. Amidst all the intimidation, amidst the arrest, the threats, and whatever happens, we still stand strong and say that no, we must be heard. Our voices are louder than the bullets. And this is a generation so unstoppable that we shall not be stopped irrespective. When I go to Chikoni and get arrested, it's because they do not want to hear the truth. But we are going to tell them the truth. Whether they arrest us, intimidate us, threaten us, promise us this and that, I want to tell you, the young generation, that no money is worth your integrity. No money is worth what you stand for. And no money can buy you off when you have something that you believe in. So as we move forward, we are saying that we, the young generation, must be heard. We have a voice, and we are going to be represented, and this is our space. And thank you so much, NUP. Thank you for bringing a space to we, the young generation, because there is nowhere else we are welcomed other than here, and we are really grateful. I want to thank everyone that did what they could for us to win this race. But the campaign ends when we step out of office. So we are just starting. Thank you so much. People power, our power, NUP, everywhere. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Ye bantu mwe bulijjo mbyogera nze temunyimirira. Powerful stuff. We delight in seeing young people embrace the cause of change. As a party, we delight in that because the future is today, as our president keeps saying. So we must embrace this cause. We must do everything within our powers. We must use all the good English we can use, all the good Luganda and all the other languages. We must use everything within our ammunition, the energies, the gusto, to see that we push for change. So we are very proud of you, President Nambasa. We have a lot of hope in you. We are sure you're not going to let us down. And when I say we, I mean the National Unity Platform, but Uganda at large. There's many ill presidents that have eventually used that and catapulted into national politics. So we are watching you. Shamim, by the way, is studying to become a pharmacist, a medic, and as the National Unity Platform, we stand with medical workers in this country. You notice that they started a strike today, a sit-down strike, because they're saying they want better pay, they want better remuneration, they want better working conditions, they want PPEs, personal protective equipment. Over 50 doctors died since the start of the COVID pandemic. They succumbed to COVID-19. Some because they did not have good protection, protective equipment. And to better understand, as is stipulated in the Workmen's Compensation Act, their families have not been compensated. Of course, you cannot compensate life, but to say you have done a good job, now that you are gone, let's see how we can take care of your family. That has not happened. And for all these reasons, the medical workers have said we are laying down our tools. We do not want people to die, and I'm sure the doctors don't want that to happen, but they're saying, for us to save life, our lives must be taken care of. So we stand with the medical workers. We believe in their cause, very much so. We believe that they must be taken serious. We believe that they must be valued. If we can buy patrols, tankers, mambas, and all these different things, why can't we take care of our medical workers? Many of them are running away to go where they are valued. So the cause of the medical workers is the cause of Ugandans. So as Ugandans, we pray that we shall rally behind them so that things get better. They have been promised several. These promises have got to be fulfilled. Why do you make promises that you don't fulfill? Anyhow, let me get to a couple of issues that I wanted to raise, then I'll invite colleague leaders to speak to you as well. Last week, you noticed the country witnessed bombings in Kampala. Very sad state of affairs. And as the National Unity Platform, we commiserate with the bereaved families, we commiserate with the families of those that lost their loved ones. And our prayers, our hearts go out to those who are injured. We pray and hope that they will recuperate soon enough. And our prayer is that the rest of the country stands with everybody that is going through this very difficult time. We must be vigilant, we must be alert, we must look out for one another as a people. That's the only way we can fight terrorism. So let's be vigilant, let's be alert, let's be on the lookout, let's have each other's back. That's very important. But again, as the National Unity Platform, there's things that are not going right. And we are disconcerted. We condemn the extrajudicial killings that are happening in the name of killing terrorists. We have seen people put on handcuffs and then killed. It does not make sense at all. It goes against the laws of the land. It goes against humanity. Article 28(3)(a) of our country's constitution provides for presumption of innocence until guilt is proved. But people are being put on handcuffs. There's a now popular Sheikh Chirevu who was handcuffed and then killed when his children were watching. That is wrong. We saw Mudasiru, same situation that happened to him. Police said they chased after him twice and killed him from there, but children said no, he was killed on their premises at home. And several others that have been killed. It raises so many questions. If you're saying these are suspects, why don't you give them a chance to face trial? Because We all want the perpetrators of these heinous acts to be brought to justice. But can we give them a chance to face trial? That's important. Otherwise, you cannot try them, sentence them, and execute them at one go, the same person. No. Because also, if you are saying these are critical suspects and they have critical information to share, I would imagine that as the state, it is within your interest to make sure these people remain alive so that you get information from them. But now you have killed them. And that's why there's a lot of suspicion. What are you trying to hide? Many Ugandans are actually bothered and they're thinking there's something being hidden. Because if you had cuffed somebody and then you kill them, you are definitely hiding something. And we want to know what this is. We are radicalizing a young generation, because if you kill somebody's father, I mean, these people are killed right before they are little children. This child is watching her father, his father, being shot dead by the state. What do you imagine is going through their minds, even as they continue to grow? They will be bitter, they will be angry, they will be radicalized. I hope that as a country we can get those young people help, because we might breed something worse. So we condemn these extrajudicial killings, and we are saying the perpetrators have got to be called to order, because that's what the law provides for. If you kill somebody because they are a suspect, they have not been proved guilty and sentenced by a competent court, which then says, okay, they deserve to die, and you take it upon yourself to do it, you are committing a crime. And so our hope is that the perpetrators now of these criminal activities will be called to order. We are also bothered about the religious profiling that is happening. It appears as though for every heinous act that happens, it is the Muslims who are being accused. When Abiriga was killed, when Kawesi was killed, they were going to mosques and raiding, picking up all the Muslims they could find. They would take them, torture them, and yet eventually, most of these, courts set them free because they were innocent. It's happening now again. The narrative, the template that has been set is that it is Muslims who are doing that. And yet by doing that, we end up shooting offside. Because now, the state seems to be going after Muslims, as opposed to going after the terrorists. A terrorist could be a Muslim, but they could belong to any other religion. But now, if you have made up your mind that it is Muslims, you end up shooting offside. That you now are going specifically for a certain religious sect, as opposed to going after criminals. That's a problem. So it is very concerning to us, because we need to look for terrorists, not people belonging to a particular religion. And that's what happened with the Kawesi killings and so on. They raided and picked up Muslims, tortured them, and eventually the court said, no, there's no evidence linking these people to the killing. So that's a problem. You are going for a religion as opposed to going for the real criminals. So our hope is that sanity can prevail. Our hope is that we can use logic and know that a criminal is a criminal, regardless of the tribe they belong to, the religion they belong to, the color of their skin, or whatever the case might be. Once we look for the real criminals, it's possible we shall find them. But once we look for a religion, a tribe, we are certainly going to shoot offside. We think that we need to focus quite a bit on crime intelligence as opposed to political intelligence. The state invests heavily in trying to establish where is Bobi Wine today, what is he planning. They invest heavily in that kind of intelligence. But how much is invested in crime intelligence? How much are we doing to make sure that particular area is taken care of? You remember a story in Bukoman Simbi when the killings in Masaka were rife. Parliament's Defense and Internal Affairs Committee went to that sub-region, and they were in Bukoman Simbi. And they were interacting with one OC called Maurice Abongo. And he told them the truth. He said, look, I'm the OC in this area, but we have one police truck, do surveillance in a wide place. Many times it does not have fuel. And he told them, so that was what he was saying. He said, look, I earn a small salary. I can't say I'm going to fuel this truck when people call us about an incident. Because that time the Gambia, incident was happening a lot. And he said they would get calls many times. There's a suspicious person here, there's this incident, please come to our help. And he could not rally his troops to go on ground because they didn't have something as basic as fuel. And when that man spoke what he spoke, he was arrested by Jim Mowe, the security minister. And I thought, he's talking about. He's saying we don't have the tools to do our work, to go out there, carry out operations, etc., etc. And they arrested him for speaking the truth. Can we invest more in this area? Yesterday I was moving in my constituency, one of the barracks there, and I had an interaction with wives of police officers. And they told me what they go through. The husbands earn a small salary, it is slashed for different things, to pay for water and electricity, which is switched off during the day. They told me the situations they go through. You find those little mama India polis they stay in, you find like 3 families separated by curtains. Many times the salaries of these officers come late, little as they are. They will not complain because they will be court-martialed. And these are the people we expect to go out there and do this work. They are demotivated, but somehow we expect them to perform miracles. It cannot happen. We must put our money where our mouth is. We can afford all these mambas, patrols, and all these different things. Why do we not invest in crime intelligence? So we think that that's an area that needs to be taken care of. As NUP, we've also noticed the continuous breakage of trust between the armed forces and the ordinary people. Because the ordinary people are the ones that provide information. They're the ones meant to provide this intel. Because we don't think you fight terrorism by buying big guns, parading them all over the place. No. Terrorism is sophisticated. It's information. And you find that many times the wananchi, as we call them, they have a bit of information. They notice a neighbor who has begun to rent a place, they are suspicious, but they will fear to tell the police because they are thinking they will be arrested too. They might pick them and say, okay, looks like you have quite a bit of information. There has been a breakage of that trust. We need to rebuild that. Many years ago, Ugandans used to trust a great deal the UPDF. That trust has waned, that trust has lessened. Why? Because the UPDF is now participating in heinous activities. They are killing people, they beat them up on the streets, they engage themselves in electoral malpractice and so on, so the people no longer trust them. That's a problem. So we think that it's important that this trust gets to be rebuilt. That way people will provide you with information, because many times they know, they have an idea. They live in the communities. We must be able to fix that. Finally, from me, one of the other challenges we are grappling with as a country is poverty and unemployment. And COVID-19 has worsened the situation with this unending, senseless, illogical curfew, which has killed the whole night economy. Borders cannot operate at night because you'll find one border will work during the day, and then at night somebody else will use it. So it is feeding about 2 or even more families. But that can't happen now. Restaurants that would operate at night, supermarkets, shops, etc., etc. That whole night economy died. People lost work. And so there is poverty all over the place. Young people are desperate. And when they are desperate, and that's why, I kept hearing security saying they are recruiting young people who are gullible and they are broke because they have nothing moving for them. We must be able to fix that. I saw last week there are some young people from Bale who apparently had crossed from NUP to NRM. And they had been promised money, businesses, houses. All these things are not fulfilled. So now the young people called a press conference and said, we are going to cross back to NUP because the promises you made to us have not been fulfilled. They are desperate, so they will go against even a belief they hold dear. They know that change is important and they want change. But because they are broke, when they are thrown or made some promises here and there, it becomes easy for them to say, okay, let me try and survive. So this is an issue we must be able to fix as a country. We must be able to fix our economy. COVID-19 came, but again we have used it to make things worse. I see there are some other Basoganyi that have joined us. You're very welcome. Is that part of the team from Makerere? Ah, this is a team from MOBS. You're very welcome. I see you're very smart. Oh, is that the uniform of MOBS? Red and black? Because I'm told these universities nowadays, they are telling you to get school uniform. It's good to see MOBS. Nice. Somebody was telling me that for a long time, MOBS used to be very calm and dull and quiet. But there's young people nowadays who are saying, no, we know our rights and we want to stand up for those rights. You know, so it is no longer called, like I used to hear it being called, Makerere University Boarding School, MOBS. It is now a serious institution, breeding young leaders who are saying, no, when we see injustice, we must stand up against injustice and say no. So we salute you, MOBS. Thank you for coming through this morning. I'll very quickly translate what I've said into Luganda, and then I'll invite colleague leaders. Natandikidde wali, of course, nga twogera ku nsonga za Makerere, guild president wali wano. Asoma kubeera musawo gwe bayita pharmacist. Era ffe nga NUP tuyimiririra wamu n'abasawo. Mwalabye eggulo abasawo baavuddeyo ne bagamba nti olunaku lwaleero bagenda tandika okwekalakaasa. Lwaki beekalakaasa? Bagamba abasawo abasoba 50 baafa n'emikaakano, ab'enganda zaabwe tebafunye kasiima ako ke bayita compensation n'ebirala balina okwemulugunya kwa njawulo. So bagambye nti katwekalakaase. Abasawo bano bagamba nti baagala okutaasa obulamu, naye mu kutaasa obulamu baagala obulamu bwabwe nabwo butaasibwe. Ffe nga NUP tuyimiramu n'abasawo kuba tugamba nti nedda oba tusobola okugula zino emmamba n'ebirala byonna zitiyagaasa ebintu eby'essente mpitirivu ne tuzonoona mu bitategeerekeka. Abasawo bano bafiibweko. So bavayo ne bagamba nti mutusuubiza nnyo mutuukirize. Ffe tugamba nti ekyo kituufu. Abasawo bano bye babasuubiza bituukirizibwe. Wiiki ewedde mwalaba ekyagwawo mu ggwanga lyaffe ekibwatukira ebikolwa eby'obutujju bomu ezaagwawo, era ffe nga NUP twagala okusaasira ab'enganda zaabo abaatuva ku maaso kitalo nnyo kitalo ddala, era nga tusabira n'abo abaafuna obukosefu basobole okusuuka mu bwangu ddala. Bwe guli bwe gutyo waliwo ffe betulabye ebitali bituufu. Tulabye okutta abantu, Luzungu kyetuyita extrajudicial killing, nti omuntu omusse tafunye na chance kwewozaako, nga bagamba nti olwo tumukutte mutujju ne babateekako empingu ne bakuba amasasi ne babatta. Bannaye tetukyali mu nsiko. Mwami Museveni ne banno temukyali mu nsiko bannaye, mulekerawo okweyisa ng'abayeekera. Tulina ssemateeka efuga eggwanga lyaffe. Omuntu oba oteebereza nti yazizza omusango, mukwate mutwale mu kkooti yeewozeeko. Kuba muba mukakasa nti bano balina akakwate ku bulumbagano obwaliwo, lwaki temwagala beewozeeko? Kiki mugezaako okukweka? Kuba bannayuganda kati beebuuza, naye abantu bano amutadde ku mpingu ate omukubye amasasi n'afa, kirabika olina ky'okweka. Bwekifaanagana ate mumugamba nti yes balina akakwate, kati tusubiddwa omukisa okufuna information, okufuna ebintu ebimu okuva ku bantu bano. Kwanze ngamba omuntu oyo wali mukwasenga kyatika okulaba nti asigala ali bulungi tafa, osobole okumugyamu ebirala ebyenjawulo kuba abo boogamba nti alina akakwate ku nsonga z'obulumbagano buli, naye kakati omusse. So ffe tugamba nti ekikolwa kino kikyamu, era twagala abakoze ekikolwa kino kubanga kimenya amateeka bakwatibwe bakangavulwe. Kuba omuntu ono gosse, kooti yerina okusalawo nti mutujju nti yazza omusango guno, so si gwe okusalawo nti kakati gwe oli mutujju n'omusaliro ogw'okufa n'okumutta n'omutta. Ate n'ekirala ku nsonga eyo, kubanga abantu bano tubalaba bambi battibwa mu maaso g'abaana baabwe abato. omwana oyo olowooza ajja kula nga alowooza ki? Ajja kula nga munyiivu, kyebujja ayinza n'okukola byakyalikoze kubanga alabye ekikolwa kino nga taata we bamutta mu maaso ge. So tulina okwegendereza ng'eggwanga ebintu bye tukola. Ensonga endala ffe gye tuwakanya y'okulowooza nti abasiraamu batujju. Wa omutujju ayinza okuba nga musiraamu nayinza okuba nga wa ddiini ndala nnyo, naye kati bwe tulowooza nti kaakati tulina gendera abasiraamu be batujju, ekyo kiba kikyamu, tuba tukuba offside. Wakati ojja gendera eddiini oluusi ate abakozi b'ebikolwa bino obave nako kubanga tagwa mu ddiini gwe gyolowooza noga nti aka tugendere bano. Tuze tubiraba, Abiriga bwe yattibwa, Joan Kagezi, Kaweesi n'abalala bayoolanga abasiraamu ne bagenda mu masijidi zaabwe emizikiti ne babayoola ne babatwala ne babatulugunya. Ate mu kubatulugunya eventually amakooti ne gagamba nti okunoonyereza kubaddewo, abantu bano tebalina musango, ebiseera byabwe byonooneddwa, bakubiddwa, bali mu mbeera embi ate nga tebalina musango. So ffe tugamba nti tuzukuke tukozese n'obwongo, tuleme kulondoola ddiini, tulondoole abatujju, tunoonye abatujju mufe ky'okunoonya ddiini, kabira oba ekintu kyonna ekirala. Tunoonye abatujju. Bwe tunoonya abatujju osanga tunaabafuna, naye kati bw'ogendera nti onoonya ddiini aba okuba offside. Tulabye ebbanga eriyita nga ensonga ya intelligence eya crime munaye tefiibwako nnyo. Kyebasinga okussaako essira bye bya politics. Bobi Wine aliwa leero apanga ki, ne bagula zitiagasi ne bakola ki, nti kati olabira ddala nti essira lyonna n'esente ezisinga bazitadde awo. Ebirala byonna tebifiibwako. Mujjukira omwezi gwa Septemba awo ng'ebijambiya biyitiridde e Masaka eyo, ababaka ba palamenti bagendako e Masaka eyo, baali boogera ne OC omu nga bamuyita Morris Abongo, wewe bukoma nsimbi, n'abuulira amazima n'abagamba nti kati nze abatuuze batera okunkubira, tabagamba tulina bwe tulabyeko alinga alina ebijambiya ewe oba kyapulaninga kino jangu otutaase. Nga OC emmotoka bayineemu ey'ekitundu ekyo kyonna ekinene, emmotoka eyo tebeeramu na mafuta. OC n'agamba ababaka nze akasaala kenfuna akatono siyinza teeka mu mmotoka mafuta. Kikyovudde olaba emirimu gyaffe gisereba. Jim Muhwezi minisita wa security kyakola oyo OC ate n'amusiba lwakwogera mazima. Mu kifo ky'okutereeza, mu kifo ky'okugonjoola ensonga OC zayogeddeko tebalina bikola. So ffe tugamba nti ensonga y'ebikola tugiseeko essira. Bano abasirikale bafudu soja be balina bwe bakola gino emirimu naye bo tubafuddeko. Nabadde mu constituency yange zibaraks eziriyo, olaba embeera abasirikale baffe gye balimu neyinyamiza. Kasaala bafuna katono bakatemako kujjako ez'amazzi ez'amasanyalaze, ate nga amasanyalaze bagajjako buli kanaku emisana tegabeerako n'amazzi kuba bali mu mbeera embi. Akasaala oluusi kalwawo tebajja kwemulugunya kubanga bajja batwala mu kooti maasho. Kati bano betutataddeeko ssira betusuubira nti bajja kukola okunoonyereza intelligence n'ebirala tekisoboka. So ffe tugamba nti awo tulina okussaawo essira kubanga poliisi walaba bajeti yayo nene, security classified nene, naye tefudde ku bano abalina okukola gino emirimu gino. Ensonga endala ffe gye tusuubira nti yankizo nnyo, ebbanga eryayita wabeerangawo okukolagana wakati w'abantu ba bulijjo ne security b'amagye naki, era nga waliwo okwesigaŋŋana. Munaye tekukyaliwo ate nga abantu bano ababulijjo bebabeera ne information, bebabeera nga balina okubuulira poliisi n'amagye nti kaakati wano waliwo kino nakino, naye kati batya kubanga balaba poliisi battabusi bantu abasirikale naki, aba atya nti osanga bwetwalayo information yange nange bayinza okunsiba oluusi n'okunzita nga balooza mbirimu. Kati abantu basirikidde information kubanga obutujju togenda bulwanyisa na mamba nene nti oguze emamba enene ebimundu ebinene n'obiteeka wali edda. Information eba eva mu bantu. Abantu bano tebakyesiga bannaffe abali mu security. Ensonga eyo tulina okugitereeza ng'eggwanga bwe tuba twagala okulwanyisa obutujju. Nja kusembyayo eno ensonga ey'obwavu n'ebbula ly'emirimu. Abavubuka abaffe bayitirivu bangi basomyeko n'okusoma naye tebalina mirimu, bali bubi abavubuka munna. Kuba nawulira security nga bagamba nti abana abatujju bafunayo abaana awo nebabasuubizayo akasente naki, nga lwaki tebabigendemu nga tebalina kitambula. Wiiki ewedde nalaba mawulire wali abavubuka eyo mu bitundu by'Embaale baali basaziddira okuva mu NUP mu kalulu awo ne bagenda mu NRM nga babasuubiza sente n'ebirala. Kati wiiki ewedde baali tulukuŋŋaana abannamule ne bagamba nti ffe tuddayo mu NUP kubanga bye batusuubiza sente n'ebirala tebabituukirizanga. So abavubuka baffe bayala nnyo. Ensonga eno tulina ogikolako ng'eggwanga, kuba bwe tutagikolako omuntu gy'aba ayinza okufuna omuvubuka awo abatalina kye bakola n'amusuubiza akasente genda okole kino. So tulina ogissaako ennyo ennyo essira ng'eggwanga. Mwewale kumpuliriza, njagala kuyita abamu ku bakulembeze bannange. Kampite meya Ali Nganda Mulyanyama, ono naye musiraamu, simanyi oba naye atiddemukko ntisaawa ena bayinza okumuyola ajja ayogereko dakiika 2. Ssebo ekitiibwa meya.
People power, our power, and NUP. You know, I have a story from Madam Vice President. Last Friday, KCC was playing UPDF. Let me talk to where I'm feeling comfortable, my mother tongue. You know, in 1986, it was 13th March, when Museveni just took power. He was in Acholi met the Acholi leaders. There's a book, he wrote a book called The Price of the Bad Leadership. He said, I found it to speak to you in English as if I'm a colonial governor. And he blamed Obote and Amin because there was a bad leadership for the last 32 years. But since now he sounds silly because even he addressed the nation, he's speaking English. But he never, Uganda has many language, local language, but never not try any single language. But since now, but it was in 1986. So I'm very sorry to speak to you in my mother tongue to feel comfortable. I'm sorry for that. Madam Vice President, I have a story on last Friday. KCC yali Samba UPDF. UPDF neteba KCC within 8 minutes. Ompira ne gugenda within 9 minutes. There was a captain. When I get it, I will manage to awangula akalu. Navaamu ekigamba amazima tegeekweka. You know, obulimba bukeera nnyo tebunaaba maaso, tebugenda mu bathroom, naye amazima gajjanga ssaawa 5 ge gabeera kungulu. A UPDF officer was a captain, was next to me. N'agamba abakesisi ne muleeta kaadi ya NUP ewangula temuwangula. Ninga nabano bakimanyi kaadi ya NUP yewangula. At the end of the day nengireeta kesisi n'ekugoba 1 in 8 minutes. So nabo bakimanyi ti kaadi ya NUP yekola ki? Yewangula. So I'm here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Haj Ali Kasire Nganda Mulyanyama, the mayor of Machi. Enda ku addressing na mwini side note. Tituli wano, our brothers and sisters, the Muslims, babatanga biyenji. Mwami Museveni blamed Idi Amin. Omanya Amini wazanga omusango. Yakuletanga kusawa yakwiri awo waliwo emiti. I was young nga nsoma Kibuli. N'aleeta abantu ne babasiba emikuwa ne babashootinga. Era nakati ye kyakola. We are fighting terrorism. Ate we are promoting mob justice. Buli watyawo omuntu olina sayini gy'olaga eri ababodaboda eri abaana baffe nti omuntu wakola ekibonerezo mu muttirawo. So being with the name of Ali, when you read the Masali Seed, page maybe 28, himself, Farasilamu tugamba hadithi eva kwani, eva ku Abu Bakar, kati ngawa nebya NUP, hadithi eva ku Secretary General, Vice President, tugamba Swadaki Tago Mazima, kubanga is Secretariat. Himself, yewako ujulizi wa Museveni nga asoma mu University of Dar es Salaam, n'agamba nga tulwanyisa Amin twefuula nga abasiraamu himself era nkitandingako mu katabo kennyini n'agamba neeyitanga Abdallah oluusi Musa oluusi Kasimu nga nyambala n'enkofiira ya busiraamu himself. Tuwadde wano basabani bantaliza Chef Ali Salimu Sale. Lwaki Salimu Sale wagaba ebintu baga nti abasiraamu bagaba ebintu? So bateekawo okutiisatiisa mu basiraamu. Era njagala okwebaza Carlos Catholic Church bakutte ku Mugisha Father Mugisha ne basirika bamuwandagadde mu nnaku mmeka. Forasi Muslim bataddemu okutya naye ffe abusiraamu eddiini Allah tetwafiringa form. We didn't feel form to being a Muslim in Uganda. Mwami Museveni afuna information yenfumba intelligence we oyabadde ayogera eggwanga yayogedde n'akeedi eriwala nnyo ku CPS ekyo kiraga nti information gyalinaafo ng'akeedi eyo teriranyeeko ku CPS weyayogedde bannamawulire mu kikwotinge mukimanyi akeedi eri eri wansi n'agamba nti akeedi eyo eriranye ku CPS kitegeeza ne information gye bamuwaaki apyara olafu ayogeddeko intelligence nakolako ku intelligence mu America. Intelligence bagikwata n'ennyingo nnya: detective, investigation, protection, fighting yesembayo. Neba detective bali awo banoonya Honorable Kyagulanyi wagenda. They must be claimed themselves okuma bannayuganda. So we are here okuleeta eddoboozi lyaffe ku lw'aba NUP, ku lwa munnayuganda ne baganda baffe abasiraamu n'okuba omwami ate n'omukyala n'omutwala ebyapuluminganga akote omukyala omututte abaana ne basigalawo ttayo. Mwami Museveni bamutuuzaako obutuuzaawo kireka ne mukyala we era yanyiri akyogera bamutuuza kirekawo wansi ku road block ng'ate vice president w'okumulembe gwa Lutwa kyamuluma nnyo naye kati nawe shooting the dart obukyayi obwo bwosiga. So n'olwekyo my brothers abasiraamu n'abatali basiraamu ffe we are against era NUP yavaayo bakuba Ssebulimu ekayunga kali against kyo. So our brothers and sisters abasiraamu tubeere bagumu. Nebaza nnyo president waffe Kyagulanyi message yateeka ku Twitter era wano wenjagala nga mmaliriza okoola our leaders of all sectors okuvaayo n'eddoboozi lumu. Babaddewo okutya mu mitima gyaffe naye wallahi billahi tallahi newonaaba oli kyo ojja kufa. Maiti ziizo bakola musango ki wallahi bakola musango ki bw'osoma Yobu abamanyi Bayibuli amwe Muslim essuula ndowooza esooka layini 19:21 Yobu yafiirwa abaana 10 ndowooza pasita mwamabayise kuiza bebe pasita Yobu yafiirwa abaana 10 ne babamubikira naye oli ayamubikira yamugamba nti najja bwereere era ngenda genda buki. Why are you killing our brothers and sisters? Alina Abubakar fa abasiraamu wetugamba. Why are you killing us? Shooting on the site mubulimba ki teri muntu ayinza kuwa information yanza kugamba nina tanka ate omukubidde awo mulina kyemukisa kyemugambye okubuulira abantu naye waludde wallahi wajja kubawo olunaku mu nnaku essaawa mu ssaawa eddakiika mu ddakiika nga musibyemu ebyammwe oba muli bwana yeebusiya oba lyeyitebe Allah yasinga okumanya. Lwaki munyigiriza abantu? Omusiraamu waliwo omukwano gwange maama we yamukubira namugamba lwaki tokkiriza kirevu naye omwana yagaanye okikendeeza. Katonda yasinga okumanya. Maliriza na kino embwa ezaala abaana 8 ente ezaala omwana ogwo ate buli lunaku bagirya naye embwa tesinganga nte bungi kubanga ente eri ku mazima agaliibwa. Mukitegedde embwa ezaala abaana 8 naye ente buli lunaku neova Masaka buca naye embwa tesinganga nte buki newe munatta ne mutamulya nnyama ne mutaani kubanga nze mmanyi waliwo olunaku mu nnaku essaawa musaawe bajja okumbika. Ekyo si kyekikulu naye naaliyagadde nnyo okulaba ng'eggwanga lino weeriri nga mwami Museveni si ye president kubanga eggwanga alifugira ku bikukujju. Ekyo nkiddamu eggwanga alifugira ku bikukujju. Nze mbadde ntambuddeko ensi naye kambikomyawo kulwa Katonda n'ensi yange abakulembeze b'abasiraamu sibalagira kubanga mukama wange move all sectors. Ensonga si ya Kibuli, si odi Kampala, si Nakasero ekwata our brothers and sisters. Tuvumirira obutujju naye singa Kibwetere bakwata abalokole bonna. Kibwetere yali mulokole singa bakwata abalokole bonna singa bano betulaba ku street kwe bali baganda baffe. singa Joseph Kony bakwata abakatuliki bonna oba ne babakuba amasasi tufayilingire ddala omuntu omutuufu tumuleete mu bitabo ayinza okuba ye ali nga si ye ali nga ye ddaani naye nga gwe buli muzikiti okwata abantu. Ssaabasajja Kabaka awangaale. For God and my country. God bless you.
Abyogedde tweyanziza so. Let me invite our SG, David Lewis, to come and address us too. Yeah. People power, our power.
Madam Vice President and all the NUP leaders here, in a special way, I'll give President of Makerere and our flag bearer for MOVES and our comrades from those universities, members of the press. We're delighted to have you here today. I'll just use very few minutes and then I'll invite our Vice President to close this presser. I also join other leaders in commiserating with the families of those who lost loved ones in the bombs last week. And of course, as you all know, last week we were remembering our people who were murdered last year in November. Their pictures are still here because it is important for all of us to remember these are our people who were killed. And many people keep asking, what value does life have in this country where security forces can just descend on ordinary citizens and kill them in cold blood? And you know, up to now we are saying that there has been no investigation, there has been no accountability, nothing. The regime simply closed that chapter and moved on. And that's what we keep seeing, even with the deaths, the extrajudicial killings of our brothers and sisters, the Muslims. You know, they just shoot someone and it ends there. There's no accountability, there's no investigation, nothing. They just close that chapter and move on. So we condemn that in the strongest terms possible, but I'm also fortified in the words of our mayor, who has simply said that the time will come and there will be justice, there will be accountability. We know that for sure, as morning follows night, that there will be a time when all these crimes will be accounted for. We are continuing to do with our mobilization nationally. Unfortunately, as you all know, we are getting very, very many challenges. Our mobilization team in Kasese is still under detention, and many other places. People who continue to be picked up. So it's been tough, and many people ask why we don't, talk about these programs and make them public. But one of the challenges we have is that. And indeed, last week we wrote to the IGP and demanded for answers. Why NUP is looked at, even when we are registered political parties in this country, when we are a political party, registered political party in this country, why we continue to be looked at as a criminal organization or something like that. When we write to the DPCs to ask them for space to do radio talk shows, they refuse to even acknowledge receipt of our requests for these events. And they all say go to the DPs, to the IGP, and of course it is a continuous circus. And so our people in Kasese are having those challenges. Our people in Kayunga are being harassed. As you all know, there's a by-election in Kayunga, and NUP leaders and members are being harassed day in, day out. You all saw what happened in Lira, in Mbale, and even yesterday in Masaka when our president went to participate in a church event, and many citizens were tear gassed and others arrested, etc., etc. We also continue to condemn the continuing detention of political prisoners. As you all know, Honorable Alan Seon and Honorable Muhammad Segirinya, and we don't want to forget these people, because the regime wants us to forget them. But we know that they deserve to be treated fairly, they deserve justice, and they deserve due process of the law. The laws of this country demand a fair and speedy trial. And so if we see that they're not getting that, we shall continue calling upon their release on bail or their prosecution in a speedy manner. Up to now, no evidence has been produced to link them to the murders that they were arrested for. And we also condemn, of course, the continuing arrest of many of our activists, some who are Chitalia in hundreds, others who are in Chigo and other places. both male and female. Away from that, the question of our security forces is still critical to us, because when you're fighting terrorism, one of the things we need to look at is the welfare of the people who are supposed to keep security, keep law and order in this country. And of course, as you remember in our manifesto, we promised the people of Uganda that we are going to improve the welfare of security forces, especially, of course, in all categories. But even while we're trying to improve their welfare, we also demand that they treat citizens with dignity and with respect for their rights and freedoms. So we know that you cannot fight terrorism when when the security forces are not even motivated to do the work that they are supposed to do, and I think my brother Joe tried to speak to those issues. Finally, I will talk about our comrades, Councillor Ngeri. Many people have been asking about his condition. He's improving, although he's still not in a very good state. And our senior leader also, Jaja NUP, has also not been feeling well. So they've been fundraising, of course, as a party. We've tried to assist them in many ways, but they are making public appeals for those who can assist them. It is a shame that, 36 years of this regime, many Ugandans cannot find good health care here in this country, and they have to go abroad to look for treatment in India and other places. So even as we struggle to take leadership and eventually improve the health care in this country, those our comrades need help to be able to access advanced treatment, which is extremely, extremely expensive in India, in the US where Councillor Ngeri is, etc., etc. So we hope that those issues will be, that the citizens, when they see these fundraisers, can be able to take part in those. I will not translate what I've said in Luganda, because Mama will try to speak some Luganda. And so without wasting any other time, I want to invite you, Madam Deputy President, to speak some Luganda and officially close. People power, our power.
People power. Thank you so much. People power, our power. Oritia, Oritia, Oritia. Of course, we are fearless. We are generation and a party unstoppable. With due respect to my president, the elected de facto and de jure president of the Republic of Uganda, who is on official duties, the Secretary General, Your Excellencies, the members of Parliament, the Lord, the Mayor, Your Worship, the Mayor, the President, Makerere University, and the team from all the institutions. My inspirer, Honorable Councillor, yes. I take note of all of your commitments today on behalf of my other colleagues.
Abalala ne bagamba nti kale namwe muli bawasuspect wawatuju nabatwala mu courts za bulijjo nolaba ensi notagitegeera, because how can you get activists, regional activists ba NUP nobatwala mu courts z'amagye ate bano abalala batuju, they are in ordinary courts, but in fact all of them should be in ordinary courts, because that court martial has offenses it should be dealing with. Ensonga endala ndowooza ebadde ku nsonga ya okulwanyisa obutujju. Fenga NUP tugamba first of all tuvumirira ebikolwa eby'obutujju, naye ekisooka nti bannayuganda tebalina bwesige mu institutions za gavumenti, kubanga wadde balaba gavumenti eno ng'evaayo nnyonnyonnyo ng'erimba, bavayo ne bagamba twasanze emundu mu kisenge kya Honorable Kyagulanyi mu hoteri. Enkya hoteri emundu ezo tebatugamba wazabulirawo n'ebirala bwe bityo. Kakati abapoliisi bennyini bwe bavaayo ne bagamba kati bino bikolera butujju, bannayuganda mubadde mulimba luli oba mulimba kati. Abantu babuuza amazima galiwa ge mwogera. So kyova olaba abantu abasinga tebalina bwesige mu ebyo bye boogera, era nabo babadde ne conflicting statements. Bagamba ono mutujju twamusanga mu luumu ye, ne tumukubirayo amasasi ate abantu ne bagamba nedda tebamusanga bamusanga mu nyumba ne bamukuba amasasi so nga poliisi egamba twamusanga adduka ne tumutirayo n'ebirala bwetyo mbadde mubiraba n'enfa ya sheek oyo gwe bakubira amasasi mwakiraba bulungi nnyo nti poliisi yavaayo newa statement ate abafamile ne bavaayo newa statement endala nnyo ekontana n'era poliisi gye bali bogerako so kyanaku nnyo nti abantu baffe tebasobola kumanya ki ekituufu ekigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga lyaffe n'olwekyo ffe tulowooza nti wabeerewo enkola etambulira mu mateeka oliba omukwata oba bw'omuteebereza okukola okwenyigira mu butujju nomala musa ku mpingo mutwale mu kooti awozesebwe naye gwe bw'osalawo nti kati weefudde judge weefudde mulamuzi ne weefuula prosecutor n'omukubirawo amasasi ekyo kye tuyita extrajudicial killing kubanga oba weefudde omuwaabi ne weefuula omulamuzi ate n'okumuwa executinga n'omuwa ekibonerezo gwe omuntu omu so kyetuvumirira ekyo ate n'ekyokulaba nti abantu baffe babakwata nabatera ebisango ebyo tukivumirira nnyo mwebale nnyo mwebale ddala yes mbadde nkugamba nti NUP terina activity gyekoze mu mateeka nga tegezaako okutegeeza abantu juzi bwe twagenda Mbale twawandikira poliisi y'Embale DPC n'agaana okukwata ebbaluwa yaffe n'agamba mugende wa RPC bamobiliza bagende wa RPC n'abagamba zino ensonga nene nnyo mugende wa IGP nerira kyekimu DPC yagaana oku receiving ebbaluwa yaffe gye twali tumutegeeza nti tulina programu ate nga amateeka tegatugamba nti tuwandiike nga tulina radio program naye twali tubategeeza nti twagala kumiitinga abantu baffe ezo meetings amateeka newakubadde tetugakkiriza naye tugamba kale owaaye katubawandiikire tutuukirize ebiragiro byetulina newakubadde binyigiriza kyebigamba naye nezo ebbaluwa bagana ozipiikinga ne bakusindika wa IGP kati tulina activity erira ate nga abalala ebibiina ebirala naddala ba NRM bo nga bagenda mu maaso ne meetings zaabwe n'okukunga abantu n'okola mobilization meetings zaabwe ffe gye tulowooza nti kiri unfair kiri illegal era tukivumirira nnyo kyoba olaba wiiki ewedde twawandika ebbaluwa nga tuwandikira IGP tumanyi nti naye talina buyinza kubanga ebiseera ebisinga naye alawa nga bitambula omanyi security system yaabwe bweri naye ffe tukiririza mu mateeka era twagala tubeere ku record so twamuwandikira ne tumubuulira ku nsonga eyo n'ensonga eyokwata abantu baffe ba NUP ababeera mobilization ne babateekako agasango ga treason n'ebirala bwe bityo ebalenyo
Thank you everybody for coming through. We totally appreciate. I think we can stand and do the anthem. Let me invite this, one of the students, one of the smart ladies. In fact, all the smart ladies from MOBS, they have a uniform. Please come and lead us in the anthems. You look like a nice choir. You will be surprised tomorrow Nanga could call a press conference and say this is a rebel group. That they even have rebel uniform, military uniform. Okay, so who of you is going to lead us in the national anthem and the people power anthem? Okay, just the national anthem.
Oh, Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hands. United, free for liberty, together we'll always stand. Awedde tuyambale mule,
Those guys whose life, those who died a long time ago, and they were quite very, very important in the unit platform, and that was called Kigozi Twaha. He was our Rasta of AK Rasta who died on 4th of November 2021, just recently here. But may the Lord bless you and rest in peace. This one was called Yasini Kauma. You remember that person whom they shot and he died from Arua? You know that gentleman, if you have all the core memory. Yasin also died under Unity Platform. He died on 13th of 08/2018. And next was called the Hannington Sewan Cambo, Aka Sweet Pepsi, brutally by military on 20th 09/2021. He later died on 31st 2019. And now that one I may not be in position of talking about. You can see how things took place. He was shot dead in Eugene on 19th 07/2018. So, and that's why people died badly. And come to this the other comrades. It was called Vincent Serianga, who shot dead in Gomba on 23rd/8/2018, followed by Kalende Yusufu, celebrated and knocked by the police truck in Ilwero, and Warugembe Raphael was shot dead in Natete on 14th May 2019. For you remember this gentleman, he was called Michael Kalinda, A.K. Ziggy Wine, who was kidnapped and tortured. Finally died on 4/09/2019. Followed by Lukoma. You remember the person called Lukoma Kavuma by the regime operatives. Whatever they did. But all those people for Unity Platform are coming to this person. You can see at Balama John Bosco, abducted in June 2019 by the regime operative and was left on that. Then, and lastly, you can see what he went through. Hakim Sekama was knocked by police patrol in Ilwero on 08/2019, also passed away. And also, don't forget this lady, Rita Nakenya, deliberately ran over the police patrol and tracked her on 24/09/2020 in Nakawa. He was also killed by these people. And really, we don't support this kind of thing. But we bring this in memory. What you see there, we bring all this in memory for our people who died and who lost their lives. Just with that memory. And towards coming the last, he was called Daniel Keyune. He was shot dead by LDU in Nansana on 25th of 2020. He also lost his life from wedding. You can imagine, shot dead by LDU. So Lord knows. Coming to the second last, this is a word called the Charles Mutiable, was knocked and dead by police patrol vehicle in Mavida. 18th of June 2020. All these people, you can imagine, were being tortured. I can't even speak too much. Second last, you can see this gentleman also recently, this one also got, he was tortured, then finally at the end of the day also died. And also, lastly, this ripping internal piece, this gentleman is called the Fefe Ka Serukenya, whom was hanged up on tree and also died, lost his life. You see, we're asking ourselves, what should we do for this nation of ours? Because it's quite very important. It's getting disappointing and annoying that our people are being killed anyhow. But we're not doing this because we're hurting you. We are doing all this because in loving memory of the people that we lost. Will you be in position to make, if all these people come back and face you, what will you answer? If they come out loud and clear, what will you tell them? How will you make their family survive? For God and my country, I will not forget. Please, the most important thing, just be nice to one another. Be nice to your friend. Be nice to your aunties. Be nice to your uncles. But don't forget, you will find everything on the show called Be Nice Show on her podcast. God bless you. I remain Hubert Rogers. See you next time. And